I know that the very phrase social marketing can strike an arrow into the heart of any retailer. You are just about to get a crash course in tools, content, and of course, the pitfalls. Please welcome Tom, the founder of thishe.
So what I'm going to be talking to you about today is a very, very condensed couple of very quick tips to really try and supercharge your marketing. Originally, it was supposed to be both myself and Jemima. You may have heard over the tannoy earlier on the announcer announcing us as the Jedis of digital marketing. In which case, if I am the Han Solo, Jemima is the Yoda. She's not even here. And yet her spirit is going to be channeled through this particular presentation. Unfortunately, Jemima has a little bit of a crisis in Los Angeles. Always wanted to say that. So she will not be here today. But if you do want to hit her with a quick question or say, why aren't you here? You can reach her at _Jemima. Okay, so a really, really quick bit of background as to who we are. We are thishe. And we essentially operate at the merging of data and creative. So basically we use a lot of social media data to tell us what the hell is going on out there and to inform a little bit of the creative campaigns that you'll see from, for example, Barber, Brooks Saddles, and a few of our other clients we work with. And today, what does this talk about? Well, this talk is primarily aimed at those of you running small businesses and shops. That isn't to say that it won't also be quite valuable for those who work at larger organisations. And the other thing is that this talk is very much aimed at the here and now, at 2014, rather than what might have worked, say, 4 or 5 years ago, or even just a few months ago. Okay, so let's start with some numbers. Today, in the past month, we're now talking about 31 million plus UK users of Facebook. Actually, this is 70% of all people online in the UK. On Twitter, we're talking about 15 million plus UK users. So really over 50% of the people who are on the internet. And I guess really what's most prescient about this, and these are some numbers from Twitter themselves, is that actually 80% of Twitter users are using a mobile device to access Twitter. It's about 75% for Facebook. Not only this, but social media users, 25% of them use social media while they're shopping. And I'm not talking about while they're on Amazon, we're talking about while they're walking down the high street. So these are some incredibly important channels, as many of you will already know. Another little concept to kind of introduce as well is the fact that the news feed is king. And what I mean by that is actually that on Facebook, the news feed, where all of your social media updates come in, and on Twitter, your Twitter timeline, and for example on Instagram, your Instagram feed, this is where 90% of people's time on social media is spent. People aren't coming to your beautifully crafted Facebook page. They're not visiting your exquisitely designed Twitter profile. They're actually more likely to be seeing your updates in a sea of content. And that means that actually attention is everything. At any one time, there are 1,000 different photos and videos and updates from friends and family that are competing to be in someone's Facebook homepage. Okay, on Twitter, you don't quite have that same competition to actually get onto the page. Everything makes it onto the page. Everything makes it into your Twitter timeline. But that means that the competition is even more fierce. You actually have to stand out from your competitors, from various other Twitter profiles that people are following. So really the question is, how do you cut through the noise? And today I just wanted to just give you just a few little hints and tips, really, that are about sort of balancing your digital marketing against your other priorities. because obviously for a lot of you, your priority is on making sure you're actually making some money, you're actually selling some products, serving your customers, and also not going to jail because you haven't done your taxes. Sometimes it could be incredibly hard to keep up with digital marketing, so we just want to give you a few secret weapons to help those of you who find it incredibly difficult to manage social media marketing and digital marketing. So, yeah, we're going to give you two weapons, really, just two things today that we want to talk to you about. The first is a mobile device. And really, when I say mobile device, I mean either a smartphone or a tablet. And really, if you are trying to run your digital marketing off a BlackBerry or a Windows phone, good luck. You really do need an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone, or an Android tablet, okay? And the other secret weapon is your audience. Not just, obviously, having an audience to tell your story to, but actually having an audience who can tell your story. So actually, one of your key things should be not just to think about how do I tell my story to my audience, but also how do you get your audience to tell your story. So those are the two little things we're going to talk about. So we're actually going to look at these two secret weapons and two case studies. First of which is a really lovely little shop called General Store down in Peckham, run by Merlin and Genevieve, who actually used to work in PR and marketing, but they've now left the rat race and they're running their own shop. Okay, so we're going to look at them as a case study. We're also going to look at who knows this product here. Oh yeah, probably quite a few hands in the room. This is the Plume and light bulb, which is launched by an old colleague of mine, a guy called Nick Roop, part of the Holger Group. So we're going to look at the General Store, and we're going to look at the Plume and light bulb. So starting off with the General Store, they effectively manage their entire digital marketing just from their phone. And we've maybe slightly simplified things, but they do it with just these 7 apps, okay? Now I'm going to divide these 3 apps really into just 3 categories. The first one is creation, and really for 90% of what they're creating, General Store just use Instagram, okay? Below that, you've got what we've called automation, but you might just call plumbing, okay? And this is, I guess, the layer that does a lot of the hard work for them. And below that, you've got some of the more native social media apps, and that's what they use in general for the conversation. Obviously, you can't automate having a conversation with your customers, so they still obviously use a lot of these apps. But actually, if you want a list of all of these links that you can go directly and download all of them, then of course you don't need to write all of these apps down. You can go to thishe.re/pulse, and you'll be able to get direct links. You'll be able to visit it on your phone and get direct links to all of these apps. So let's just look really briefly at how Merlin and Genevieve actually would use these, okay? So first of all, I mentioned the fact that they're using Instagram primarily to create. And for a lot of you, that probably is a great fit for your primary channel to be creating a lot of content. I've looked around the stalls here. There's some amazing products. I think the products for a lot of you are very visual and will tell your story much better than a few choice words can. So General Store create the vast majority of their content on Instagram, and you can see there they've created 329 photos and videos, and they've got nearly 2,000 people following them and interacting with what they're doing. Okay, this is where they create. The next step is then to use, you remember that next layer of automation of plumbing. The next step that they use is a little tool called If This Then That, and you can find it at ifttt.com. And what if this then that does is it just does lots of really, really clever little bits of plumbing so that when they post up any photo on Instagram and use a particular hashtag, and that hashtag could be Twitter or it could just be hashtag TW, IFTT will then take that photo and actually post it onto Twitter. But it won't do so just as a link off to Instagram. It will actually take that photo and post it natively, so that instead of just being a simple tweet with just text and a little Instagram link, the beautiful photo that they've created on Instagram automatically gets synced through to Twitter. Okay, you say, so that's all well and good, but quite often I post a lot of Instagram photos all at the same time. Well, actually, there's a second tool that you might want to look at, that you might want to use, which is called Buffer. And Buffer, the primary idea behind Buffer is that you can use it to schedule lots of tweets, Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts if that's what you're into, or Google Plus if that's what you're into. And actually, rather than posting at the time that best suits you, which probably for a lot of you might end up actually being when you're least busy, might even be before work, it might be after work, it might be in the middle of the night. Instead of posting perhaps when nobody's online, actually what Buffer does is it allows you to queue up posts. It allows you to actually queue up, say, 5 to 10 tweets or updates in advance. So let's imagine, for example, that you just want to do all of your social media on a Monday before your first customers come in. Actually, you can use Buffer to queue everything up. Not just that, but you can plumb it together with if this then that, so that actually you only post on Instagram and automatically it gets sent out to all of your other social networks. You don't have to manage 5 or 10 different profiles. Then in the next level, General Store run a Twitter account, and yes, they still use the Twitter app, they still log into Twitter, and Twitter is actually where they have conversations with their customers. Quite often their customers will talk about the amazing products that they found, and it's a chance for General Store not just to broadcast but also to have a conversation. So it's always important to have that conversation with your customers, and also it's a great place, of course, to post up when you're going to be open, when you're going to be closed, when you're going to be on holiday, and to let people know about your new products. Finally, there's also another tool which is called Tumblr, which some of you will have heard of. So General Store don't have a standalone. They don't have a standalone website that they've paid a developer to very expensively create and update. They use Tumblr, which is a blogging platform, as their main website. And what this means is that not only can their Instagram photos be pushed across to Twitter and Facebook and the other channels, but also their Facebook photos can actually be displayed on their website right below the information where they say where they are, where you can find them, their opening times, etc., etc. So another really nice little tool that can really help you supercharge your marketing. Okay. Finally, just another thing to say on Facebook. Actually, quite often what they'll do is when they've got time, they won't post every single Instagram photo automatically. They'll tend to actually pick the very best photos from their week and post them up gradually. It's probably just worth saying that actually if Instagram is your, if Instagram is like your sort of BBC Three or BBC Two, where you're sort of developing your best posts, only your very best stuff gets to go on Facebook. So probably just worth mentioning that only really put up your very best content onto Facebook after you've tested it out on these other channels. Okay, so that's all very nice, but what if you don't even have time to create your social media marketing yourself? Get your audience to tell your story. You'll have noticed at the beginning of this talk, and actually through a lot of the other talks in the communication, we've put a hashtag. We've put hashtag shop talk, and that's because we want you to talk about what you've learned here today, and to share that with your followers. Okay. So in the same way, you can do the same thing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're constantly telling your customers every time they walk through the door. It could be something as simple as this example from Plumen. So just for those of you who don't know, Plumen a few years ago decided that they wanted to make beautiful, beautiful energy-saving light bulbs. Not the sort of horrible angular styles that actually put a lot of people off saving energy. Rather, they create these absolutely wonderful twisted visions that you'll see pretty much in every other coffee shop in London. And one thing that they realised after a while was that there were quite a lot of people who liked to take photos of the product because it's very beautiful. And they noticed as well that when people took photos of the light bulb, these people's friends would ask them, where can I buy it? So they decided to encourage this behaviour. And they actually put on all of their packaging, our favourite fan shot of the year goes on our packaging. They incentivise the people who buy their products to share their very best photos. And what does this mean? Well, if you look on Instagram alone, let alone Facebook and Twitter, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures, all of which are showing the product, many of which have got 50, 80 to 100 likes, some of which have got really big conversations where people are saying, where did you buy the product? And of course, obviously the fact that they've been encouraged to share it using the packaging means that these people aren't just taking a photo in the coffee shop, they are people who've purchased these light bulbs. An absolutely brilliant way to get your audience, to get your message out there. It's been so successful, in fact, that now for their second light bulb, Plumen decided that based on this success, they would be able to actually pre-fund their second product, the second Plumen bulb, using a website called Kickstarter. And of course, they were able to go back to all of the people that had shared the original Plumen light bulb, and they said to them, "Hi guys, would you?" We've actually set up a little campaign where you can be one of the first people to buy the new light bulb. And they set a goal of $20,000, and they actually ended up getting 3 times that. So especially for those people who are out there developing products, once you've built that audience, it's then very, very, very easy to re-energize them when you've got a really big campaign like the one we've just seen. We kind of mentioned earlier on that we've done a lot of stuff for Barber. Actually, Barber don't have quite such an easily recognizable product in the sense that it's a wax jacket. It doesn't come out quite as well on an Instagram photo. So instead, for Barber, we asked the audience, Barber's audience, we'd like to see what's in your pocket, and we just asked them to hashtag it with Barber Pocket. And actually, as well as showing us the Barber jacket itself, it also gave us an incredible glimpse into what Barber's customers were all about. You can kind of see some incredible things up there, like there are sort of shotgun pellets and Ray-Ban glasses and all kinds of other sort of weird, eclectic paraphernalia. This campaign was incredibly successful because not only did it show the followers of all of these people that their friends were Barber jacket owners, it also gave everybody a little glimpse into different lifestyles, and it was great as well for Barber in terms of getting getting inside the mind of their customers. So that's pretty much it. So just to kind of recap, for those of you incredibly busy, two key secret weapons. We've had 2 hopefully quite illuminating case studies. Just use your mobile in the same way that use your mobile and use your tablet, and do take a look at those apps that we've hopefully given you the links for. And secondly, make sure you get your audience to tell your story, because obviously when you're busy 9 to 5, actually it really, really helps if you can get a little helping hand from your audience. Thank you so much for being a great audience yourself. And if you have any questions, I don't know if we've got time for some now. We have time for some now. Otherwise, if you're a little bit shy, you can come and speak to us afterwards. So thank you very much.